Most video production companies don't have a pricing problem. They have a signal problem. If clients see you as a vendor, pricing will always be negotiated. But when you fix the signal, pricing resistance completely disappears. In this workshop, I want to show you the exact framework that I've used to go from struggling to charge $800 for a wedding video to working on $500,000 projects without adding a single team member and without burning out. This isn't theory. This is a system that I've been running in my studio for over a decade with real clients and real constraints. Before we go any further, I just want to be clear about something. I'm not a guru by any means. I haven't made any money from selling courses about making money. Every dollar that I've made in my career has come from running a production company, working with real clients and scaling actual businesses. So when I talk about signals and positioning, I'm not just speculating. I'm showing you exactly what changed the trajectory of my business. When I first started, I was shooting wedding videos and basic corporate work. I was struggling to charge $800 for any given project. And the reason was simple. I was pricing based on my time on set, my time in the editing chair, and what I thought the video was worth. And if we're being honest, there's probably a good chance that you're probably still pricing the same way today. And here's what that positioning attracted. Low budget buyers, constant price justification, and endless comparison. I was completely interchangeable with every other production company in my market. Because when you position yourself as someone who just executes, you're treated like a vendor. And vendors compete on price. It's a race that you just can't win. What changed everything was not better gear or better work. It wasn't improving my portfolio. When I actively stopped positioning us as people who make videos, everything changed. I started to position us as a solution to a specific business problem. Instead of saying we shoot and edit videos, we said we help brands communicate complex ideas in a way that drives action. I know it's a little bit cliche, but essentially what we were trying to do is get closer to the results that the business was trying to realize. That one shift changed everything. Clients stopped asking about deliverables and they started asking about strategy. They wanted help on messaging, scripting, and problem solving. And almost immediately, project sizes increased. $5,000 projects turned into $10,000 projects. Then $10,000 projects turned into $50,000 projects. Then into six-figure engagements. Conversation shifted from how much does a 2-minute video cost to how do we solve this problem? I was no longer talking to marketing coordinators. I was talking directly to CMOs and VPs of marketing. But here's the important part. Positioning alone wasn't enough. Even though we were positioned as the premium option, we weren't yet the obvious choice. We were still leaving a lot of money on the table. Deals still required a lot of effort. And that realization brought our full system together. What I eventually realized was that pricing wasn't controlled by confidence. It was controlled by signals. It was controlled by your positioning. Signals tell buyers whether you're safe, credible, or worth the risk. Because we're not talking small amounts of money here. When signals are weak or inconsistent, pricing becomes fragile. When signals are aligned, pricing holds and it becomes a secondary factor of the conversation. This comes down to 3 core pillars. The first is proof systems. Most production companies have a portfolio and they work on improving that portfolio after year after year after year, thinking that, wow, my work looks great. But the portfolio is not proof. Proof shows transformation. What problem existed, why you were chosen, and why you delivered what you delivered. And then what changed as a result of that. These stories need to be designed so that they can be shared internally, because the person that finds you is rarely the person that approves the budget. Your proof needs to travel internally within organizations without you. And this is why we need to build hard assets. The second pillar is your capabilities architecture. This is where most companies either show too little or show too much. What you need is a clear capabilities deck that shows the problems that you solve, the industries that you understand, your process, and your team. This is where buyers decide whether you can handle scope, complexity, and risk. And this is what separates a production partner from a freelancer with a nice reel. And the third pillar is the nurture infrastructure. This is the most overlooked piece. Most companies treat leads as one conversation, and that's just a huge mistake. You need a system that keeps you top of mind when the buyer is not ready yet. For me, that's email. Simple, consistent, valuable communication. 6 months later, when the budget appears, they call the person that they trust. When these 3 pillars are in place, everything changes. Deals get bigger, negotiation decreases, pricing becomes secondary. The power dynamic completely flips. Clients now want to work with you, and you can stop chasing clients. Now, here's the most important part that I want to make sure is clear. Most people watching this know that their work is good. Their problem is not the craft. The problem is how the craft is packaged and perceived. And the hardest part is that you cannot see this clearly on your own. Signals are almost hidden. You're too close to them, and that is why the first step is not implementation, it's diagnosis. Before you change your pricing, before you rewrite your website, and before you rebuild your offers, you need clarity on how your business is actually being perceived in the marketplace. And that's exactly why I built Signal Score. Signal Score is a simple tool that gives you a short diagnostic that shows you how you're positioned and your signals are likely being interpreted by your buyers. It's not theory, it's not advice, it's just clarity. It takes about 10 minutes, and Signal Score shows you where friction's coming from, why pricing feels harder than it should, where you are unintentionally signaling a vendor, and what actually deserves your attention next. Some people take that clarity and implement it on their own, and that's fine. Some people want a deeper personalized review, and some want everything installed properly. There's no right path here, but clarity always comes first. If this workshop felt like it described your business a little too accurately, then that's a good sign. It means that your constraint is visible. And once it's visible, fixing it becomes much easier. You'll find Signal Score below. Take about 10 minutes, get clarity, and then decide your next move from a position of confidence instead of frustration. This workshop shows you what aligned positioning looks like. Signal Score shows you where your business is currently sending mixed signals without realizing it.